So I like the shakeup in your mock about the 49ers trading up with the Dallas Cowboys. Seems like blood rivals trading and everything, but I wanted to talk to you about Mims. He seems like the most boomer bust offensive lineman here, especially with the lack of games that he's played. What are your thoughts on him? Because I think the physical gifts are evident, but I think there is a bit of hesitance because of the lack of games played.
Yeah, I will say this. I'll start with the idea of the 49ers and Cowboys making a trade, and you're thinking to yourself, there's no way those two teams would do that. In the draft, we tend to see a lot more sort of like everybody's kind of friends during the draft. I mean, I think back to a couple of years ago when the Vikings and Lions executed the trade that involved the Lions moving up to pick number 12 to get Jamison Williams. So, we've seen whatever you think the fiercest rivalry is in the NFL, we've probably seen those two teams do business in the draft. And so for Amarius Mims, specific to San Francisco, I thought it was a good fit for this reason. Amarius Mims might need some time. And I say some time rather than being more specific because I don't love saying a guy needs a full year or a guy needs only a couple of weeks because you just don't know. I mean, this young 20s player, but he has 803 career snaps in college. 803. Just for some perspective, that's fewer than Joe Alt had last season. And Joe Alt, of course, has been playing for much of the past 3 years. You're talking about basically three times as much tape on Joe Alt than you have on Amarius Mims. That being said, you've got a guy who's 6'8", 340 pounds, who does not look like he's 340 pounds at all, has a nearly 87-inch wingspan with these 35-plus-inch arms. And this unbelievable set of physical tools, it's hard not to think that that guy is going to, not be a first 25 or 26 overall player pick. And for San Francisco, well, I'm sure fans probably feel some strife over the offensive line from this past postseason in the Super Bowl specifically. Colt McKivitz, he's played a lot of snaps for you. So if you're a 49ers offensive coach, probably saying to yourself, we can hold the fort down a little bit until someone like Amarius Mims is ready to go with a Colt McKivitz or others. And when I say ready to go, if that ready to go is week 1, great. If it's week 6, also great. If it's week 18, fine. So he they're one of the few teams I think that can afford to be a little bit more patient than others, which is part of the reason why I didn't have him going to Dallas at 24, because I do feel like Dallas, with their glaring need at left tackle, needs someone that can play right now. And I think Amarius Mims could play right now, but I'm not totally certain on that.
And one last thing, Fields, with the Stephon Diggs trade to Houston, obviously there's a lot of smoke around Brandon Aiyuk. The compensation is a second rounder. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is 31 years old.
Yeah.
Does that kind of give you any sense of that the market may be a lot bigger for Brandon Aiyuk? Obviously, it would be a first rounder most likely.
I don't know about a first rounder, but I think it'll be on the borderline of a first round or a second round. I think it'd be stronger than Stephon Diggs because of the age factor. But I don't like. I wouldn't expect like the 10th overall pick. I would definitely not expect that in this draft, especially a late first, early second. I think would be a reasonable target for San Francisco, but I would be very surprised if they got something in the teens or below.
Thanks, Field.
Thank you.